There it is. All right. We are looking at your front end, and this is what we call your front end of your site. And you can see we've got a nice logo up here at the top, your city of New Haven. We've got what these are called maps, emergency info, and forms. This is called top navigation. We have what's called main menu, and you can see I'd like to all the way across to contact, main menu fields. Now, and Glenn, you might know more of this than I do, but I think there's probably still working on your site a little bit, still building a few things. So there might be some changes, slight changes coming up to your site as well. Now, as we scroll down a little bit, we've got what we call home buttons. I've got 6 of them here, and they're actually squares. They're not buttons themselves, but they're 2 buttons, one layered on top of the other. They're not active until I scroll over. You can see I scroll over pay taxes and it changes color. Public Works changes color. It's now an active link. It can send me to an internal site or an external site, wherever I want it to go. Now I've got 2 fields here, news and calendar. These are 2 things that we'll actually do in training today. Near the end of training, we'll look at how to build a news story and also a calendar event here for your homepage. As we scroll down a little bit, this is called the data field. This is one of my favorite widgets on the site. I like to see what's going on in different areas. Again, I can see a couple of things that need to be changed, like founded. It's not 1,701, it's 1701. So we'll get those changed for you. And then at the very bottom, it's the footer area, your street address, phone numbers, things like that. So a few changes that we'll be making, but this is the basis or the bones of your site that we'll be working with. Now, we're looking at what's called the desktop view right now, desktop view. If I go one little box here to the right, and if you can see right at the very top of the screen, I have a circle that I press for my cursor to kind of show you where I'm at and what I'm going to click on, try to help you out so you can understand what I'm looking at and what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the tablet view, just one to the right here. You can see this is what your site looks like if somebody was looking at it on a tablet, an iPad, or a Fire tablet, something like that. Again, a little more condensed. Everything is still there. It's just a little tighter on the screen. Now, the big move is to the one more to the right, and that's your mobile view or handheld device. So if I click on that one, there it is. You can see a few things are gone. We no longer have our home collage image at the top. Our main menu is gone, but it's hidden. It's actually under these 3 little lines right here. If I click on that, there's my main menu. And again, I can find all the pages that I'm looking for. If I scroll down, you can see a few things are different. Instead of a field, we have news here. We have calendar events, agendas, and minutes right here. So a little bit different look, but all the same things that you want to find on your site. But for today, we're going to keep it in the desktop view. It's the best way to look at it and easier for people to follow along. Now, where we're going to spend probably 95% of our time, it's called the dashboard here, my dashboard up here at the top right. I'm going to click on that. And now we're in what's called the back end of the site, the back end. Okay, when you log in, a lot of times this is where you'll open it up to the back end of the site. Now, to get to the front end of the site, it's just site preview up here at the top right, top bar across. That will take you to that front page again. Now, we're looking, we call this the dashboard. Everything on this page is fully customizable. You can change this around anything you want. And right away, I'm going to make a move right here. I'm going to grab I call these quick links right here. I'm going to grab this one that says add a document, and I'm going to put it above calendar event. And I'm going to tell you why in just a second. Now, here's our agenda for the day. I'm looking under site content. We're going to work on pages, image library, document central, calendar, and news. Those are the 5 areas we're going to focus on. And like I said, we're going to build a basic page. We'll put some content on it and give you an understanding of where things are at and how things work within this CMS. Now, if you're not familiar with that acronym CMS, it means Content Management System. Okay, think about those 3 words. Your website's all content, you manage it, and it's a complete system. CMS, that's why we call it that. All right. Now, I moved my document up above my calendar event. And the reason I did that is because when we add a document and we add an image, exact same process for both, same steps. So I put them next to each other just because it's almost exactly the same thing. We're just working with 2 different things, a document or an image. It goes hand in hand with adding a calendar event and news story. I showed you that on the front page as well, correct? Same process for both of these. So I like to put those two, each one next to each other. Now, I did mention that this page is customizable. And what I mean by that is right here where it says My Dashboard. You can see I've got a plus sign over here. If I hit that plus sign, you can see there's grayed out. My 4 quick links already on my dashboard are already there, but I've got several other widgets that I can drop into my dashboard, things that I can keep an eye on. And one of the things I'm going to drop in here is called Scheduled Content Review. This widget right here. So I'm just going to left click or hold down my index finger, and I'm going to drag it down onto my desktop. There we go. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, Scheduled Content Review, don't worry about it. I'm going to reference back to this in about 10 or 15 minutes when we start building our page. Okay, Scheduled Content Review. But that's how you can go through here, and we'll talk a little bit more about different things that you can keep an eye on. Those of you who are super users, and again, we have 2 types of users within our system. One's called a basic user and a super user. It's just how your profile's set up. Don't worry about which one you get. You're going to get all the tools you need to build your content for this site. All right. Now, right above the dashboard is called Content Shortcuts. One thing nice about this CMS, always more than one way to get to where you want to go. If you recall under site content, I said we're going to look at pages here. If you notice over here on my shortcut bar, I've got pages here as well. Now I can add additional quick links to this shortcuts bar up here. Again, I drop it down with the plus sign. I can look at my different icons. I'm going to grab this one right here. You can see when you drag it up into the bar, it actually gives you a circle to drop it in. Boom, there it goes. And I've added an image library connection. So I've got add an image here, image library here, and also under site content. 3 places to get to the same spot. Now, before we get going though, I want to talk a little bit about support, and that's this function all the way over here to the right. We can help you, or there's ways to get help even after training's done. Now, I am recording this. You can go back and rewatch this and listen in and find what you're looking for. But I've got a few different areas here that I think are really nice help after training. Will keep you, get your questions answered. If maybe you're working at home or you're by yourself, right? You can't always stick your head out of your office or your cube and go, hey, help me with this. You can find the answer here for what you're looking for. And the first field here is called online reference. I'm going to click on online reference. Now, you've got a search function up here. You can type in what you're looking for, hit search. It will pull up that information. What I always like to point out too, we have CMS training reference information over here. One of the things that you might want when we talk about images are the image properties, different sizes, and how they can be used within the system using the basic page template. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to actually build a basic page. I'm going to click on see all 6 articles because there's one more link I want to point out. And it's this one right here. And it's called Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG, WCAG. Now I'm going to reference this a few times today. And what Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG, or actually WCAG 2.0 are the guides and rules that we need to follow as we're building our site. These just make your site more accessible. They also help with ADA compliance. And if you're not familiar with ADA, it's American with Disabilities Act. But we'll talk quite extensively about web content accessibility guidelines as we go through the system. And I'll show you where it pops in and what we're doing for it. All right, so that's our top one there. That's online reference materials under support over here to the right. The next one is, and this is my favorite one, it's called CMS videos, Content Management System videos. And the best way I can describe this is if you've ever YouTubed something, okay? We've kind of stolen that idea. We call them vision videos. We've done videos for everything that you can do within the CMS. If I click on CMS videos here, again, if you, like I mentioned the term YouTube, I YouTubed a garbage disposal, if you know what that means. I had my garbage disposal went out about a year ago. I went, ordered one from Home Depot, boom, delivered to my door. I watched a video, I pulled it up on YouTube. It showed me 40, I'm gonna knock on wood, sorry. 45 minutes later, it's changed out and it still hasn't leaked underneath. So the YouTube video worked. But we offer videos on a lot of different topics within our CMS. And the one I always like to point out are right here. It's called Add and Edit Basic Items. Again, I showed you our agenda for today, and here we go. We've got Image Library, Document Central, adding a page, adding page content, all things we're going to do today. Calendar event, news story, again, things that we're going to do today. Okay, so if I just click on one, I'm going to click on Document Central here. And this is what they look like. There's our Vision Live logo up here in the top right. There's the title of your video right here, how to use Document Central. And then you can see it gives you the length of time, 7 minutes, 57 seconds. How to add a page is 12 minutes long. Add and edit page content, 3.5 minutes long. So very similar to YouTube, just our version in how we get information to you going forward. All right, that's the videos. Now below that, it's called recorded webinars. Now, I am recording this one as well, so I'll send this link to Glenn when we're completed today, and he can post it out there for everybody to get to it. But we've got some individual recorded webinars as well. We've taken some topics, we put some things together. They're anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour long. And again, I like to point these out. They're called the Power Hour sessions. Again, at the very top, page templates, widgets, pages and content, everything we're going to do today. Okay. Adding a calendar event. I mentioned documents and images, same process for both. Well, we've actually put them together in a Power Hour session here, Document Central and Image Library, because it's the same process for both. But again, a little longer, a little more in depth, a little more step-by-step on what you've got going on, but very, very helpful right along with the CMS videos. Now, we've got 3 other fields under support. The 4th one down is called suggestions and ideas. And this is kind of to help us here at Granicus. 80% of the changes we make to the CMS, 80% come from customers like yourselves. And what I mean by that is you put in a comment here saying, you know what, I wish you had a button that would do this, or I wish the system would do this. Maybe something that you've done in other systems, or just an idea you might have, let us know. These go to our customer service team. They stack rank all these ideas when they come in. They talk about them in their monthly meeting. If enough customers ask for something, it gets put into production. If it's just an outstanding idea, it also gets put into production as well. So let us know how we can make the system better. Who knows, you might see it changed here in the near future. All right. Below that is release notes. Now, we do a release every 3rd Thursday of the month on our system. Generally, it's just a quick bug fix, maybe a font change or a color change or something like that. You probably won't even notice it, but if there's anything that's going to be changed, it's in the release notes. You can keep updated on new things that are going on. If it's a major update, our customer service team or your project manager here at Granicus will contact you and let you know about the change. Last but not least, it just says about. If I click on that, right here it says Gov Access. Now that's the team I'm on here at Granicus. We have a lot of different teams here, a lot of different areas. They all start with the prefix Gov. I'm Gov Access. We have Gov Delivery, Gov Service, Gov Loop, a lot of different groups here. We do a lot of different things here at Granicus, but they all start with the prefix of Gov. That's just our copyright information. So support, online reference, CMS videos, recorded webinars. A lot of help after you get out of training going forward. You should be able to find anything that you're looking for and how we can work you through the system. Now, before we start jumping into our content, I've got one more area I want to show you that can help you out. And I'm going to give you the example here. So I'm going to go here to where it says add a document. Okay, add document. I've gone to my Document Central. These are all folders containing documents that can be used within the CMS. Now, if you get to this point and you say, you know what, I forget what we're doing, or I have a question about something, you can go all the way over here to the right. This little box right here that says help, right here on the right side. If I click on it, there it is. You can see I've got Document Central here. I've got Document Central here. The first thing we give you is a link to the Document Manager video. We give you 3 online reference materials to take a look at. And you can see we have those listed here as well with some definitions and some information. talk a little bit about some icons that you might see. We offer another quick video. This one's only 2 minutes long on adding a document. And at the very bottom, I call it complimentary information, how to add a document, update, review, delete, whatever you need to do with the document that goes along with Document Central. But that's all from the little help box all the way over here to the right. It'll take you to the help for that page that you're currently on. So 4 areas to help you out with support: online reference, CMS videos, recorded webinars, and then when you're in the system, use the help function all the way over to the right, and hopefully that'll answer any questions that you might have going forward. All right, checking the chat pod again. Just to remind you, if you got a question, come off mute, say, hey, Bill, I got a question, or drop it in the chat pod. I'll keep an eye on that as well, and we'll answer anything as we can along the way. All right, let's get started. So I'm going to go here to where it says site content, and we're going to pages. We are defaulted to what's called the tree view, and I know it's a default because I've got this little green star right here. I'm going to go one to the left though. I always like to start on the list view, so I'm going to click on list view. All right, there we go. Currently showing 707 pages in your CMS, in your website. 707. All of them listed here. This is the list view. We have some filters that you can find different things. I got a question here. Will the website ensure that all documents submitted are accessible to people with disabilities? Gretchen, great question. I guess I'm going to need a little more information what you mean by accessible. We'll talk a little bit about naming and ADA compliance and how people can find documents and things like that. But yeah, they should be accessible by everybody by clicking if they, using their text-to-speech application or whatever they might have to do that. So I don't know if that answered your question, Gretchen, but we'll keep talking about it as we go, and I'll think about this as we go through this here as well. Thanks for that question. So list view, 707 pages. I mentioned we have some filters here. You can see we've got some different icons. We've got some colored circles, some different things you're looking at. First field is the page name. The status, is it current or is it expired? Okay, again, everything here we're showing is current. When it's last published, everything on the list view right here is it's in order of when it was last edited. Okay, last edited. You can see here 12/9. And then it descends in order by date and time. Okay, and then who edited the product. Now we have a search function here as well. I'm going to take a shot in the dark. I'm going to type in water.
Bill?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The last edit feature in the application, does it keep a archive of your change pages?
It does. If you make a change, it doesn't keep an archive of the old page. It just it shows you. It just has the new page. If you don't put it in publish mode, it does have an archive of the old draft page. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Good question. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in the word water. I'm going to hit enter. You can see I just typed in water in the search field. And out of 707 pages, we got 4 that match with the word water in it. You can see stormwater, regional water authority, water pollution control, and also inland wetlands and water course regulations. So quick way to find an individual page that you're looking for as you're going through. This is the list view. So I'm going to take that word water out again, hit enter one more time, and back to my full list of 707. All right. Now, again, I mentioned we've got some icons here and some colors and some different things. We're going to talk about those here in just a moment. But we're going one to the right where it says the tree view, Now, if you're not familiar with the term tree view, if you look right here, you can see these fields are all your main menu items. These should look familiar. This is on your front end, on your home page. This is where all your pages are listed within your site. Now, the tree view, it's listed here. You can see these little plus signs. It's not always a plus sign. Sometimes it's like a right-facing triangle, something like that. Excuse me. But if I click on that plus sign, it then opens up or branches out information. And you can see I've got information and assistance right here. If I hit that plus sign again, there's a new branch of information, hence the term tree view. So anytime you see a little plus sign like that or an arrow, triangle that you can open up and then it indents and drops down information, that's considered a tree view. Okay, I mentioned we've got a few icons over here. We'll talk about some of those. Open up this a little bit and see what we got. Okay, there we go. Not much. But let's talk a little bit about our legend over here. And like I mentioned, our system is hover and discover. You can see if I hover over this little green dot, it shows me it's a published page, I've got one up here called Sandbox. If I hover over that, it's a little periwinkle blue dot. It's a draft page. I have some icons at the end of each ones too, and we'll take a look at those. But over here to the right, I have a published page. This means this page is out and it's available for all your constituents to see. Now, I do have another icon here. You can see it's a white circle with a green outline, and it's called published no navigation. Now, during trainings, I call them pop quizzes. You don't get graded on them, so no worries about that. But I like to open up a little discussion or see what answers we can get. And here's your first pop quiz of the day. Who can tell me what they think published no navigation means? What's published no navigation within the CMS? Give you a second to think about it. Come off mute, drop it in the chat pod. I could, oh, there we go, Gina. It's a live URL, but it isn't connected to a parent page for navigation. That's the perfect answer. Ding, 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 winner, winner, chicken dinner. Nice job, Gina. Perfect. Yes, it's a live page. It's out there. It's just not in the main navigation field or the side navigation field. You have to link to it. You have to put a link for this page on here. Great answer, Gina. Perfect. So we have a published and we have a published no navigation. Now, I will show you here again, just a minute when we start building our page, how you make it a published page or a published no navigation page. Okay, it's coming up. Below that, we've got draft. You can see it again. I mentioned that's the little periwinkle blue dot here. Anytime you start building a page from scratch, or you take a page that's published and you put it back in edit mode, it's now become back in draft mode. Any changes you make are not visible until you hit that publish key again. Okay, so it's in draft. So it's you can see it, but any changes are not visible. Anything new that's been added until you hit publish on that page. All right. Below that, we've got a little icon here, and it's called department homepage. It looks like an org chart with a little house in front of it. You can see if I go down here, I've got boards and commissions, the department homepage. That's the only one I'm seeing right now. But we can designate different pages or different areas within your site as department homepages and information for those areas. Okay, you can see we've got departments and divisions. If I drop that down, I'm guessing there's going to be a few underneath there. There they all are. So animal shelter division, again, all designated department homepages here on your website. Okay, quite a few departments and divisions. Now, below that, we have what's called an expired page. Now, it looks like a calendar with little lines on it. 99% of your content, 99% of your pages out on the website will not have an expiration date, meaning they're going to be up there, they're staying on the website, they're not coming down, they're not expiring off the site. Now, that being said, you can also build a page that you only want up for a certain amount of time. I call them one-offs or special event pages, things like that. I was kind of looking to see if you had a library page. I'm not seeing that. I use libraries for my example because we're in December right now. All right, so let's say we have a library group and they want to put up a page, and it's a special event going on at the library called Story Time with Santa. So they're going to post on December 1st, they're going to post a page called Story Time with Santa. It's going to have some nice images of Santa reading books to kids, to list the times, locations, the books that are going to be read, things like that, if there's a cost or donation. But it's going to be out there. But on December 23rd, Santa's got to go back to the North Pole, right? So we need that page to expire or come down off the website because that program is no longer available. Because I'll guarantee you, if you leave that story time with Santa up into January or February, it's going to generate calls and emails to the library going, hey, is Santa still showing up reading books? I still see it on your website. Okay. So we can make an expired page. We can put a date on there where we want that page to come down off the website. All right. Below that, we have page with future published date, and it's supposed to be a little clock. To me, it kind of looks like a little Mercedes-Benz logo. But think about this. If you've ever bought concert tickets or theater tickets, right? You see advertising for a few weeks or a month or two prior that says, hey, tickets go on sale Friday, the 10th at 10 a.m. So they've built that page already. They've said it's going to publish on Friday at 10 a.m., page with future published date. But when Friday hits at 10 a.m., boom, then it publishes to the website. Maybe you got to put a page up every month, something new. So you might have done one here just on December 1st. Maybe you've got another page you built for January 1st, another one for February 1st. Again, you can pre-build this content and put that future published date on there. And this is the icon associated with it. All right, lock pages. When you start building content, your page will be locked for you. And I mentioned earlier, we've got two types of users, basic users and super users. This is generally an area that helps basic users. So when you start building content, you're a basic user. You can see up here for the sandbox, if I hover over this little lock, you can see that it was locked by the system administrator. I was trying to find one that had maybe somebody's name on it. Not seeing any other locks. But like some pages are locked that you've maybe edited or changed content and you're a basic user, you might go on vacation or on leave or something like that. If something needs to be updated, another basic user can't come in and unlock your content and update it. The caveat there is a super user can go in and unlock any page or content and update it if necessary. So you might see a locked page, doesn't mean it's inaccessible. Super users can unlock any page at any time. All right, the next icon here, three little people here. It's called the members only page. And I make a bad training joke here. I always say you don't have to own the jacket to do this. I don't have any cameras on from anybody. I don't know if anybody got that reference or winced at that. It's such a bad joke, but all right, we'll move on. Members only page. You can build content that you only want certain people to see. And that's what we call a members group. We can build a members group that we can put certain people in that group and only they can see that content that you post. Example could be for like New Haven here, you could have the mayor and the city council in a members group. I've had other cities build a members group where they put the mayor and city council in it. The city administrator then will build the agenda for the next city council meeting. They'll post it on that members only page so only the mayor and city council can see it. They can then look at it and go, yeah, that's a great agenda. Let's go with that one. Or can you add this to it? Or can you take this away? Once they get consensus from everybody, they then post it out for the general public to see. Okay, but they let just the mayor and city council look at it first. Members only page.
No question.
Sure, go ahead.
So with the members only page, say like if I wanted to provide content for other departments to access, is that doable there and they can access the documents from that?
Absolutely, yep. So Sean, you can build a page. You have to put in those members from that department that you want to be able to see that content. You can make it password protected or a couple different things that we can do for them to get in. They put in their password, only they can get in and see that content on that page.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Subpage addition restricted to this content group. I don't have a great example for this. You can restrict subpages to individual content groups. We'll talk about that a little bit here as we go, as we start building our page here in about 30 seconds. Now, last but not least, it's called the redirect page, and that's supposed to be a person holding a chain link right there, person holding a chain link. And you can see we've got quite a few of those over here. There's only two, and I'm holding up my camera, two fingers, two options for each. It's either an internal redirect or an external redirect. It means you can send them right out to another page that's the content is already there. You don't have to build anything. Now, when I say there's two, I go up here to ADA compliance, if I hover over it, you can see it gives me question mark nav ID equals 173. Right away, I know that's an internal link. Why? Because it starts with that question mark nav ID. We give every page within your site a number, and that's the page number that it gets redirected to. If I go down to jobs, again, another internal redirect, online police reports, internal. Trying to see if we have an external. There it is. So committee meeting schedule. Now I know it's an external because it starts with HTTPS. Again, two types, internal or external. Internal, question mark nav ID, external, HTTPS. And there's the page it gets sent out to. Now we'll talk a little bit about redirects here when we start building our page as well. So I've said that a couple times when we build our page. Let's actually go out and start building our page. And to do that, I'm going to go back to the list view. Again, you're more than welcome to build a page with me today as well. We're in what we call the production site or staging site of your web pages. This is kind of a practice area for you. Okay, go ahead and build that page and practice if you would like. Now I'm going all the way over here to the right where it says add page, add page. Here's your first big decision. Where is that page going to be housed? Where do I want it in the CMS? Okay. Again, I mentioned tree view, and this is also a tree view. Instead of a plus sign, it's a little right facing triangle. You can see if I click on it, it will drop down a sub page. Okay. Yeah, all these have individual links to them. I can put my page wherever I want. Now, I want to show you, I want you to notice down here at the bottom of this white box, it's completely blank all the way down here at the bottom. But I'm going to go right here to where it says contact. I'm going to click on it. When I click on it, watch what fills in at the bottom. So I'm going to click contact. There's my little gray rectangle around it. It means I've selected it. Gives me 4 options. I can add a page above or below. And when I'm talking about pages, I mean this area right here, city services, government, business, and contact. I want a page above, it's going to be below business and contact. If I want a page below, it'll be right below contact. Got a quick question here. Glenn's got, Sean brought up a good question on the members only page. If a basic user creates a password protected page, will a notification or a password for the page be sent to the super user administrator? Yes, they can get notified on that. And I'll show you in your CMS here, Glenn, how to get notifications. All right, good questions. So adding pages. Now we can also add sub pages, and this staff directory is a sub page under the title, under the heading contact. So if I want a sub page at top, it'll be above staff directory, sub page at bottom below staff directory. And that's where I'm going to put my page. I'm going to do a sub page right underneath staff directory, so I know where it's at. So that's my first big decision. Where am I going to put it? Now I will tell you, if you decide where you want to put a page today and within a week or 2 weeks or a month, you go, you know what? I think it would be better over here. We can move a page at any time. No worries about that. We can always move a page. Now we have to choose our content group. And if you're not familiar with content groups, it's part of your profile that's set up, and everything we do, and I'm not kidding, everything we do within the CMS, you have to choose your content group. Now I mentioned 2 types of users, basic user and super user. If I drop this down, watch, here we go. I have quite a list of content groups. And again, these kind of mirror your departments within New Haven. Now, if you only have one here, if maybe you only have animal shelter, or you only have boards and commissions, or engineering, okay? You only have one of these content groups. That's okay. That's how your profile's built. That's the area which they said, this is where you're going to do your work. This is where you're going to add your content. All right. Now, for today's, what I'm going to do today, I'm going to use admin, the very top one, as my content group. Okay, I'm using admin. Here we go. Again, you'll notice everything we do today, it's going to say, what's your content group? And we have to choose it. This is where I can restrict those subpages to this content group. So again, if I want to add any additional subpages underneath the heading where I'm at, they'll be restricted to this content group admin. I'm going to click continue. Here's a cool new section that we offer. This is about 6 weeks old here at Granicus. Right now, you can see it defaults to what's called all account templates. And if I scroll down, I've got a template called accordion. And again, if you're not familiar with that, that's okay. We'll talk a little bit about that. There's basic page, right? You can see 1,057. Now, if you recall, we only had 707 pages within the content group or being within the CMS, but it's showing 1,057. The thing is, for every page that's built, there's a template behind it, so it counts two. So actually, this number is about 526 or something like that, 526. Now, if we scroll down, you can see we have some different titles, and you get to see different things that are on these pages. It'll tell you what the layout is. A basic page is a 2-column layout. We've got 3 columns. We'll talk a little bit more about how these are built and what they look like here in just a second. But for today's purposes, I'm going to use a basic page. But the first thing I want to show you, after all the account templates, and there are right now, you have 28 that are available for your use underneath this heading. And you can see job postings, frequently asked questions, documents. These are all widgets that are currently on a page for you to use, already pre-built there for you. But if I go over here to all the way to the left where it says template library, and this is one of our new areas that we built up. If I click on this, we've got 21 pre-built pages for you. We've even kind of given them a name, maybe a suggestion of where we've seen them used before or where they're a good use, what they look like. What's nice is though, and I'll use city clerk and council here as my example, right below the title of the template is the widgets that are associated with this template that are already on the template for you to use. The first one, there's a title widget, there's content areas widget, there's image tiles widget, there's an image widget, an accordion widget, and a calendar box widget. So these are already on the template available for you to use and fill in your content. Now, you don't have to use every widget on a page, but it's just there for you to use. I want to show you, this is another nice little function that we've added in. If I highlight it, you can see it says live preview. I can click on live preview. It'll take me to what the page will look like if it was on the New Haven site. Here's my page title. So you got to imagine what your page title would be here. These are called image tile widgets. Again, very similar to the home buttons on the front page. You put a heading on it, you connect it to a link within the site or external link from the site. Where do we want to send them? These are opportunities. There's just an image widget here. You can drop an image on the page. Again, you can size it any way you want. This is called the accordion widget. If you're not familiar with that, it's one of my favorite widgets. I call it the content area on steroids because these 4 areas all hold content. Again, they don't right now, they're just placeholders. But if I click on mission statement, you can see it gives me a little more white space. These are all drop downs where you can add content as much as you need. Open, closed, open, closed. That's why it's called the accordion. And then at the very bottom is the calendar box widget. Okay. So these are widgets already on the page. This is how it would kind of set up and how it would look on your site. You can just fill in your own content here. If you want to use it, it's just a quick click up here, use this template. If you want to look at other ones, just click back over here to the left. They'll bring me back to the template library. Now we've got a field here called top account templates. We'll talk about this. Those of you who are super users, we'll do a super user training and we'll explain to you top account templates and how to set those up. Okay. But 21 pre-built templates for you to use. Just check them out. Again, you don't have to use them just by the name, but what I would like to point out is it's the widgets underneath that make it the template for you. You know, this is how I want it to look. I'm going to go back to all account templates. And like I mentioned, we're going to use basic page here. So if you're building a page with me, I'm going to ask you to choose that right now. We're going to go all the way over here to the right where it says select. I'm going to hit select there. I've just chosen my template. So I've made a couple of big choices. Where's my page going to be? What's the layout or template going to look like? There's my content group that I chose. Remember, I chose admin. I chose my basic page template. Now we've got a navigation name and a title. Navigation name and title. You remember we talked a little bit about WCAG or WCAG 2.0. Well, here's the first one that pops in. WCAG 2.0 states your navigation name and your title should be the same or similar when it's listed on your website. The navigation name is going to be in the main navigation or side navigation. The page title will be on the page itself. So that's why they need to be the same or similar. What's the content you're looking for? So for navigation name, though, I'm just going to use my initials. All right. I'm going to hit the tab key. There it is. I just put my title, my navigation name down in my title field right here. So I've just satisfied that WCAG 2.0 guideline of being the same or similar by naming my navigation name and title the exact same thing. Right. Now we've got 3 optional functions here. Do I want to put a subtitle on it, right, underneath my title? Do I need to add a little context? Well, yeah, I'm going to call it training page. There we go. Now tags. We don't have any tags built in. Again, this is a function that we'll talk about with super users. It's a super user function to build. Tags connect content across this platform. We're going to talk a little bit about how search engines find content. Tags is one way to do it. What do we link it to? How else can we add it in to the system? So we'll talk in super user training about building tags and how to use them. Now, below that is that members group. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. And if I click on it, we don't have any members groups. If this is content I'm building, I only want certain people in a certain members group to see. I choose that members group right now, and then that's when it will generate that password. And only the people within this members group that I select can see this content I'm about to build. Now, we've got 4 sections here. Summary, channel, department branding, and SEO. So when I go down here and it says next section, we're going to go to the channel section. Now, everything on this section is optional, but it's all kind of very important. Okay. The first thing is the publish date and expiration date. Again, I can publish this at any time I want. If it's a future publish date, remember we had that icon. I've got a calendar and a clock here, so you can see I can click on my calendar, it drops it down. When do I want this page to publish? Well, I'm going to publish it today, and you can see it always defaults to midnight, but I can change to any time I would like this page to be published. So if you recall, I said Friday at 10 a.m., right, for tickets. I can choose Friday, and I can find 10 a.m. There it is. So now this page, once I hit publish, after I build content, it will not be seen or available on the website until tomorrow at 10 a.m. Okay. That's what publish date is. You can decide when your page is going to be published. Now, I mentioned 99% of your pages will not have an expiration date. You can see we've got an expiration date here. If your page is just going to be out there and you don't want it to come down, no expiration date is needed. If you're building that special project, right? I mentioned story time with Santa, and you want it to come down on December 23rd, we choose December 23rd. Okay, comes down off the website. Now, because this is a training exercise that I'm doing, I'm actually going to put in Sunday the 12th as my expiration date. So my page will go up and I'll make sure it'll come down on Sunday. Again, this is only in the test environment, the production environment. It won't be seen by the general public. All right, published and published no navigation. We've got 4 default boxes here. The top 2 showing main navigation, showing side navigation. This is where we decide, is this going to be just a published page with my WGH in the main navigation and the side navigation. If I uncheck these boxes, it's now going to be a published page with no navigation in each box. I have to link to this page. Okay. Uncheck them, it makes it a published no navigation page. I'm going to keep them checked so you can see that. Now I'm going to throw it out here. Glenn, I don't know if you're on. I know you said you had another project you were working on, but are we doing any kind of analytics on our site? Are you pulling any numbers for the page? Okay.
Yeah, it'll be paired in with Google Analytics.
Perfect. So we've got 2 fields here, show in site search results and external search results. We leave this box checked, these boxes default checked. This makes sure this page is included in all the analytics that are pulled. All right, schedule review. Let's talk back to, remember I said I dropped that widget on my dashboard, scheduled content review, and I said, we're going to talk about it in about 10 or 15 minutes. Well, here we are, scheduled content review. What this is a reminder to go out and check your content. Maybe you need to change it at some point. You can see it defaults to no review. If I drop this down, it gives me 5 other options: monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, annually, or a custom date. I can choose when I want to look at it. I'm a fan myself of quarterly. I don't think it's too much to ask for every 90 days to go out and check in your content, see what it looks like. What this is for is, think about, again, this is my analogy. I made this up, so if it's, I hope it's okay. I think about the store Target. Okay, I use Target because I think everybody's been in Target at least once. If you haven't, you should go. A lot of cool stuff in Target. But it doesn't matter how many entrances your Target has. There's generally a little area at each entrance that changes. Okay, there's always something new there. There's little tchotchkes or you know, what's going on at the time. If there's a holiday or something, there'll be it changes. It's a little section there at the front, but the rest of the store stays the same. And I want you to think about your page as well as like that. Sometimes you want to just change up a little thing. Maybe you're changing an image or two, or there's new content that needs to be added, or you have to go in and check if you've got an external link. If you're sending your constituents out to an external site, I always say, go out and check that link. Make sure it's still working. Make sure where you're sending them to is still the content you want them to get. So that's what scheduled review is, or scheduled content review is. It's going to be a reminder to go out and check your content and maybe update it if necessary. All right. Redirect URL. Remember that little icon had a person in front of a chain link. Now, if you're not familiar with why he's holding a chain link, it's because your website's considered a chain, and every page is a link in that chain. So that's why they're holding that little chain link. Now, if we send them to another page within our website, we stay within the chain. If we send them off our website, it's called breaking the chain. We're opening up a new tab, right? We're opening up a new site. But we can redirect them right now. And if you want to send them to another page internally, if I just click in this box right here.
You know what? They did go to the GIS something better.
Just a little quick mute. There we go. If we want to send them to another page within our site, you can see there we are. There's all our home pages. Where do I want to send them? Maybe to bids and contracts. Okay. So you might have 2 titles here, but it's only all the content's on one page. We're going to send them to the bids and contracts page. Now you can see I'm highlighting it. It says question. I'm going to click on it. There we go. Question mark nav ID equals 71. That's the bids and contracts page. So if they click on WGH right now, as it's titled right now, it'll take them to the bids and contract page. I don't build any content. It's going to automatically right out there. Now that's one way. Remember I said there was 2. There's also the external. And this is my example that I use for an external site. Let's say my page is entitled, on the New Haven, Connecticut site, is entitled voter registration. All right, now the city of New Haven, and again, I'm making this up, that maybe the city of New Haven doesn't register people to vote, but the state of Connecticut does, right? So we're going to send them to HTTP. www.stateofct.gov voter registration. There we go. An external site, right? So if my page is entitled voter registration, if they click on it, boom, out they go. We're going to break the chain. We're sending them to the state of Connecticut voter registration site page. We're done. We're good. We're out. But maybe my voter registration page, I want to put content on it first, right? I want to put polling locations, ballot box drop locations, how to become an election official, when's the next election, anything you want to put on there. But I can also put an external link, and we're going to do that here in just a minute when we start adding content, and to let them go out and register to vote. We're going to give them the option. We're not going to just send them to it right now. But those are your 2 options, internal and external. Now, below that, it says redirect URL target. Whatever I choose here in redirect URL gives me my answer for my URL target. When I drop this down, you can see I've got 2 options, same window and new window. If I'm going to send them internally, maybe to that bids and contracts page, right? We're not breaking the chain. We're going to keep them in the same window. It's just the same New Haven, Connecticut website up. We're just going to another page within the site. If I'm going to send them to the state of Connecticut site, that's when we're going to send them to that new window, right? That new tab up at the top, the plus sign. This way, the New Haven, Connecticut site stays up, but then that new tab opens up to that voter registration page on the state of Connecticut site. So if they need to come back to your site and get additional information, it's already there. They don't have to click back through it and find out where they were at. Same window, new window, best practice here for you. Glenn, one more question for you. Are you going to update social media, either Facebook or Twitter, right from the CMS as well? Have you talked about that at all?
I think we'll have links to the site. I don't think we're going to embed them in the site just yet.
Okay. We'll talk about that a little more in super user training then. I've got a great webinar for you to watch there as well. But
Sure.
It's an option for you. If you want to update now, we can do a calendar, a form, an online poll, a page. There's 5 things that we can send right out to Facebook and Twitter right from the CMS and update it.
Great.
All right. So next section, remember I said there was 4 sections. This one's called department branding. Do I want to brand this page that I'm building by department? So if I'm under admin, I can say, yep, it's under the admin department. I can put it under any department. Again, it's optional. Doesn't change anything about the page. What it works with is, and it's my next section here, SEO. And here's your second pop quiz of the day. Who can tell me what SEO stands for? What's that acronym? SEO. If you don't know, you can Google it real quick. Gina's got it. Thanks, Gina. Search engine optimization. Boom, all over it today, Gina. So, yeah, how do we help search engines find content on our website? We do that by what we call meta keywords. Okay, and here's an example I like to use. So, if you have a page entitled Waste Management, okay, that's within your site. But somebody might go to Google or Bing or any search engine and go, when's garbage pickup? Trash pickup, right? Or even they might want to know about recycling centers. Okay. What other keywords can help them find this content to this page? How else can we help them? And that's what we call search engine optimization. We use keywords to help find the content within your site. Now, that being said, you got to think about Google. I use Google for an example. It's intelligent and it's intuitive. It runs an algorithm for every letter you type into that Google field. It's trying to figure out what are you typing, right? Because it's got to pull that information instantaneously. So some people I've heard it here at Granicus go, yeah, we don't know how much this really helps. I'm of the school of more is better. So I always say, if you've got an opportunity to put in keywords to help search engine find content, drop in your keywords to help the search engine. All right. Now, that's all 4 of our sections. I've got 2 options. I've got publish and I've got save and continue. Now, the publish is only used if I'm going to do redirect. Remember, I had an option to go internal or external. I'm sending them right out to those pages. If I'm redirecting this page right now, say out to the voter registration page, boom, I'm hitting publish and I'm done. But I want to build content, right? So I'm going to go over here to the far right where it says save and continue, save and continue. And I'm going to build content for this page. Now, if you recall, I kept those 2 boxes, main navigation and side navigation checked. Here's my main menu buttons. If I go over here to contact, there's my main menu title, WGH. Here's my side navigation, WGH. And you can see we've got some menu items here. There's my main menu. Here's my side navigation. If I go across to the middle, there's my page title box. Now, if you recall, when I started building my page, it asked for page title, and then I added in a subtitle. This was optional. It's already filling in a widget on my page. There's my page title widget that I've already filled in. Now below this, you can see it says insert content here. There it is. There's my content area. This is where I'm going to put in all the content I want on this site. I'm going to go all the way over here to the right. And we're always looking for this little white wrench. The little white wrench, if you highlight it, it says setting. but to me, it means work or detail or design, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to click on that little white wrench. If anybody's worked in any other CMS, this should look very familiar. A lot of what we have here is very universal. A lot of icons are universal, and you'll notice that as we go to, but you can see this big box, white box here. This is where I'm going to build my content for my site. Now, we've got some icons up here at the top. If you've used Microsoft at all, you're probably very familiar. And the one I always say, please, please, please use right here, the Ajax spell checker, ABC with a checkbox. Again, I don't know what it is, but nowadays people love to let you know that you misspelled a word or you used the wrong version of your or their. And it's not just one person. It's it could be 25 people, and number 26 has got to jump on the pile too, going, yeah, you misspelled that word. Yeah, got it. Thank you. Appreciate it. So you spell check before you post anything to the website. When I mentioned universal icons, you can see we've got cut, we've got paste. I've got bold, italicized, underline. I can put background color. I can align left, center, right. I can justify my whole page. I can indent. Again, if you use Microsoft at all, these are very, very familiar icons and operations that you can use. A lot of these you haven't used, and those are the ones we're going to talk about. First I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in some information on this page. So bear with me while I type this in. We'll go heading 2 and then go heading 3. We'll do number 1, number 2. How about bullet 1, bullet 2. Let's do external link. We'll do email link. Internal link. And how about one more for right now? How about document link? There we go. Now, I filled in some information that this might look a little foreign to you. No worries. You'll understand it when we get done. But we're just over an hour in. This is the perfect spot to take a quick break. I'm at 10:03. I know you are Eastern time for 11:03. Let's do 12 minutes. Can we be back at quarter past the hour? And we'll talk about adding content. I'm going to pause the recording here. There it is. All right, we're back. I've got some things I filled in here. The top ones here, you can see I've got heading 2 and heading 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slide this over. And I want you to notice right here, I know it's a little grayed out, but you can see my WGH and my training page. This is actually a heading 1 right here. WGH is heading 1. Training page is a heading 2. What's nice is your project team has decided for you what your heading should be. Font style, size, color, bolded, not bolded, all these things already decided. The reason being is, and I'll tell you a little bit, Granicus here, our marketing group, they've done several studies. They always do studies, and it's not just our group, but people, they ask, what do you want in a website? What do you look for? And one of the words that comes up continuously is uniformity. They want a site to be uniform. They want to know if I go to a different page, I can still find the content I'm looking for. Now, I'm going to kind of go off script here and I bring this over. I'm going to bring in Wikipedia. Now, I think Wikipedia does a great job of this because they are the most uniform site I can think of. Okay, I pulled up your New Haven, Connecticut page in Wikipedia. I wanted to point out right here, New Haven, Connecticut, right at the very top. That's a heading 1, heading 1. If I scroll down, you can see I've got history. Font's a little bit smaller, but that's a heading 2. Now below that, pre-colonial foundation, again, smaller yet, but now bolded, is a heading 3. As part of a Connecticut colony, again, heading 3. If I scroll down, I'm trying to see if I can get to, if we have any lower. No, we're back to a heading 2 for geography. And then again, heading 3 for climate. Okay. So Wikipedia is uniform across the board. All their headings are exactly the same. You're going to find the same thing on every page within Wikipedia. Now, we want to do the same thing for your site or our site, I would say. So what I want to do is right here where it says heading 2, I'm going to highlight it. Now, this box right here, you can see it's got a P in it, a P. If I highlight it, it says paragraph style right here. If I drop this down, heading 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because I've got heading 2 highlighted, I'm going to click heading 2. I do see there's a question in the chat pod. I'll get to it in just a second. There we go. There's my heading 2 already set up. Okay. Let's see what Gretchen asked. Will the website comply, excuse me, section 508 ADA WCAG 2.1? How will we ensure that the content created complies? Will the website design limit the types of fonts? Will users be able to change font sizes? Gretchen, the way the site is set up, no, you will not be able to change font sizes. Things are set up for compliance from the beginning. Now, there are ways around it. Again, I'm not trying to give people workarounds, but a lot of times they'll copy and paste different things into the website that are not compliant. That's got to be on the user themselves. They got to make sure that they keep things compliant. But that's why we do these things pre-built, like the headings and different things, so they are compliant with WCAG and ADA compliance. Good question. Thank you.
There really should be some mechanism, though, to allow users to make things bigger, smaller, or change background, et cetera. And there are tools for that that could be added on to them, because not everybody can see every size.
Exactly. A lot of it too is people who have maybe a text-to-speech application on their device, or they have different devices to magnify different things. Now, building the content, you can see here, I've got no application to enlarge the text or make it different. So ours is preset. You know what, that's a great question. I'll forward this on to Lindsay for you, Lindsay Wincheck, your project manager here at Granicus, and see if she's got a better answer for you for that, Gretchen, as far as compliance with section 508.
Bill, I believe once the page is published, that a user has the ability to increase the size of the page
They
tag.
can, right? That's completely on them, but not the builder themselves. Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah. Okay. All
Thank
right,
you.
Gretchen, that's a great question. All right, I'm going to highlight heading 3, and I'm going to go here again back to my paragraph style to kind of give you a little comparison. So let's click on heading 3, and there we go. You can see same font, a little bit smaller size, just a little bit different look. So already set up for you. You don't have to worry about it. You don't never have to remember what size is my heading, what font do I use? Is it bolded? Is it not bolded? Already decided and already set up for you. All right, let's go with numbers, the numbered list. Is anybody, and again, here's another pop quiz out there for everybody. Has anybody used a numbered list? Have you numbered anything? And if so, why did you do it on a website? Why did you use a numbered list on a website? While I highlight these. I'll take silence as you tell us, Bill. All right. Numbered lists. Why do we want to use them? When do we use them? If you've got any kind of order, process, list of content that you need to have on your site, we want to use a numbered list. Okay. When we say numbered list, oh, there we go. Listing things in steps. Exactly. Thank you. And I hope I say this right, Tanasia. Steps, order, process, whatever you need to do. Now, let me give you a couple examples. But first, I've highlighted my numbers. Thank you. Numbers 1 and 2. Right up here, you can see the little numbers 1, 2, and 3 with hyphens next to them. If you highlight it, it says numbered list. Here we go. I'm going to click on it, and it numbers my entries, numbers 1 and 2. Now, steps. order, process. And here's a couple of quick examples for you. In our homes here where I live, we have decks and patios off the back of our houses. And a couple summers ago, my backyard neighbor tore down his deck, tore up his patio, and built a 3 Seasons room or porch on the back of his house. Now, the reason being is, if you know anything about the state of Minnesota, the joke here is mosquitoes. Our state bird is the mosquito. They carry off small children and can you hear me? Are we still good? Carry off small children and animals, things like that. So he wanted to sit outside. Now, I'm hoping he went to our City of Woodbury site and he found a numbered list. Okay, number 1, download building permit form. Number 2, return building permit form with fee. Number 3, make appointment with building inspector for plan approval, right? Number 4 could be on-site building inspection. All these different things that we hope that were in order, down to number 10, to final inspection. Because if he didn't, if he just tore everything off, built that pad, that room off the back of his house, and then had them come out and inspect it, they could come out and go, foundation's not up to code, the electrical's not right, we got to tear this down, right? Because he didn't follow what he was supposed to. He didn't follow the steps, the order, the process. Okay. Now, the other example I like to give, and this is kind of a personal one that I read back, and this goes back to April of 2020. Okay. We're about 6 or 8 weeks into quarantine for COVID-19. I'm reading USA Today online in the text section, and it said the most Googled phrase for the month of March was how to make banana bread. Okay. Think about it. Everybody was home trying to figure out stuff to do. How to make banana bread. Now, I love banana bread, but I have no idea how to make it. Right? I can't grab flour and sugar and the bananas and eggs and all that stuff and just put it together. But if you give me steps, you give me an order, you give me process, right? You give me a recipe, steps 1 through 10. If I follow it to what what you've got listed there, I should be able to give you a reasonable facsimile of banana bread. And that's what we want our constituents to do, right? To make sure that they list things, they do things in the proper order, or they have a list of things in the steps that we want them to take. So numbered list. All right, bullets 1 and 2, and I throw this out here as well. Just like when I talked about the numbered list, does anybody use bullets? Think about bullets, and while you're thinking about that, I've got your next pop quiz in the chat pod. Keep an eye on that. You can tell me what that acronym is when we're talking about bullets. Anybody got that acronym? Give it another second here. Kim's got it. Thanks, Kim. Too long, didn't read. TLDR, right? That's what we have to stay away from on your website. I call it the wall of words. And I think we've all might have been guilty of this at some point. Think about it. You open up a page and it's just paragraph after paragraph. And people look at it and go, I'm not reading that. Forget it. I'll call or I'll email or I'll do something else, right? But there might be some really great information in there. So instead of giving them 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 paragraphs of content where they have to pull out the information or find it, let's give them 4 or 5 sentences and bullet point the information. Bullet points say, I'm important. Bullets say, this is what you need to know. All right, let's stay away from TLDR. Now, to make your bullets, just to the right of my numbered list, you can see the 1, 2, and 3. I've got 3 bullets with hyphens. And if I highlight it, it's called the bullet list right there, bullet list. Boom, I've just bulleted my 2 entries there as well. All right, use your bullets. Stay away from the wall of words. All right, let's start putting a few links on this page. And here's an example I gave a little bit earlier. Remember I mentioned voter registration. But I'm saying I want to build content. I want to put polling locations, ballot box drop, how to become an election official, things like that. But I still want to give them the option to go out and register to vote on that state of Connecticut site. Okay, so to add an external link, we're going up here to this icon right here, and it looks like a globe with a chain link in front of it. If I highlight it, it's called the hyperlink manager. Hyperlink manager right here. Globe with the chain link in front. I click on it. There it is. It defaults to hyperlink. Gives you first field is the URL. What's the URL we want to send them to? And I think this is going to kind of go along for those of you who are concerned with ADA compliance and things. We're going to talk about that here for a second as well. But let's put in our link. So again, I'm going to go www.stateofct.gov for registration. Now, this is not a WCAG or ADA compliant link. I want you to think about it. If somebody's sight impaired and they had a text-to-speech application and they tried to read this, their application tried to read this, it would read HTTP as a word. It would then try to read www as a word. State of CT is one word, and also voter registration is all one word because there's no spaces. Now, to make this compliant, we have what's called link text right below it. Link text, this field is blank. Anything I type into here will be superimposed over top of my URL. The link is there, it's just underneath my text. So I could type in to register. Oh, click here. Here we go. Now, I also like to point out target. You can see it already defaults to new window. If I drop this down, it gives you two options, same window or new window. But we want to open up that link in a new window. Remember, we talked about internal redirect, same window, external redirect, new window. We want to leave your site up, but open up that new site in a different tab up at the top. Right, I'll click OK. And there's my link. And again, it doesn't say HTTP and across. It has what I've typed in my link text to register to vote. Click here. You can see it's a little different color. Looks like a blue. Kind of a navy blue with underline, indicating it's a link that you can click on and get to the site that you want to go to. All right. Next field underneath is the email link. And why I put email link next to external link, it's because we're going to use this same icon up here at the top, this hyperlink manager. Okay. So I'm going to click on that one more time, the globe with the chain link in front of it. We're going to go all the way to the right to where it says email. Email. First field, what's the address you want to put in? So again, let's do, how about Joe at Parks and Rec? He's our guy at the Parks and Rec department. Excuse me. But I don't want to put Joe's email address out there. And again, you can see I've got my second field down here called link text. Link text I can superimpose over top of Joe's email address. So for that, I can type in, how about for additional information, email us. Here we go. Got my email address. I've got my link text. I click OK. There it is. Now, again, they'll click on this link here. You can see it's a blue color. It's underlined, indicating it's a link. It'll open up their default email application. It'll put Joe's email address in the to field. They can fill out the rest and boom, send in their email request or information that they have. All right. Now, I try not to use the word easy when it comes to our site. I like to say it's user friendly, but to find the internal link, this is an easy function right here. And the reason being is up here at the top, it's the only box that actually spells out exactly what it is. Right? I got paragraph style with just a P in it. I got icons up here that you have to highlight to see what they are. But internal links. All right, if we want to send them, and again, I call it complimentary information. You're reading content on your site, but we think this might also be something that you'd be interested in, and here's a link to it. So I'm going to click on internal links. You can see it says main site. There's a tree view. Let's go city services. How about jobs? Maybe we've got a page on businesses or something like that. We can link them to a jobs page. Maybe they're looking for jobs. And to do that, we can just click on it. Here we go, jobs. There it is. Again, a nice application. You can fill it insert it into a sentence or a paragraph, whatever you would like, saying, you know what, for additional information on employment here in New Haven, here's a link for you, and go ahead and let them do that. Internal links. So we've done headings, we've done numbered list, we've done bullet list, external link, email link off the hyperlink manager. And then we also did internal links out of the internal links box. Now the next one is a document link, but before we can do a document, we got to bring one into the system first. So I'm going to hit save. Let's take a look at what we've done so far. And there's my page. Kind of starting, we're building in content. Now you can also see here for your basic page, you've got insert content here, content here. You've got 3 additional content areas, just like we've got here, that you can build in additional content wherever you want. These are not visible. All right, once this page gets published, you will not see these. They're just kind of hidden in the background. All you will see is a staff directory and then the WGH page underneath. All right, so let's go out and bring that document in now. To do that, we got to go back to the dashboard. We're going up here to the top. At the very top, we've got a couple different spots, right? I've got under site content, I've got my image library and document central. I also have my quick links here, document and add image. If you recall, I said same process for both. We're going to do both of these now. We're going to bring in a document in the system. We'll bring in an image into the system. Okay, so let's start with a document. Let's add a document right here. Brings us to our document central page. And again, all our different folders already listed here with the different documents that are available. So you can look at any different one. If we're going to police, let's see there's a few police documents. Again, we can open it up and they're broken out. There's the reports, CompStat reports. We can go to chief administrator, documents under the chief administrator file. Okay. Now I'm looking here and I'm thinking, oh, I don't know if there's a folder I want to use. I'm going to build a new folder. And to do that, again, I can do it anywhere in this field here, just like I could put my page anywhere, but I'm just going to go up here to Document Central to where it says menu, and I'm going to go across to menu. When I drop it down, you can see I've got subfolder at top and subfolder at bottom. I'm going to put my subfolder all the way down underneath Youth and Recreation Department. Here we go. I'm going to entitle it Granicus Training. Hit save. There's my new folder. Okay. Got nothing in it. So I go over here to the right to where it says add documents, add documents. Called the drag and drop box. I'll talk about what's also typed in here, but I want to talk a little bit about dragging and dropping a document in here. I want you to watch, again, I'm my setup here in my home office. I've got my laptop here with my camera in it. I've got a main monitor right here in the middle. Got another monitor all the way over to the right with my Slack communication with other members of Granicus here in my office. So I can grab from any of my monitors and drag it into this middle monitor and drop it in that box. And I'm going to do that real quick. Watch here from the left coming in. I'm going to bring in a document. There it is. Boom. Just brought it in over. And watch when I hover over this drag and drop box, what happens to it. It turns yellow. It activates it. It says it can accept this document now. I can drop it in and away we go. Now I've got my index finger down. I'm not going to drag. I'm not going to drop it in this box. I'm going to use the browse function to find my documents. But I just want to show you can pull it off your taskbar at the bottom, bring it in from another monitor. Wherever you want to drag and drop it in, you can do that here. But I mentioned browse, and we've got browse function right here. We're going to do that. Also listed here are the different formats that are acceptable. We've got text, docs, Excel, PowerPoint, PDFs, CSV, zip files, some of the more popular ones. But I'm going to go here to browse. Goes to my network. I'm going to go to my desktop. That's where I know I've got a couple different documents. One right here. How about this one? Let's bring that one in, my reference guide, and also a widget list. And Glenn, just so you know, I'll send you this widget list as well. We'll talk about widgets a little bit more as we go, but it's a nice little add-on help document that shows you the widget gives you a little definition and what it would look like, a little screenshot of what it would look like on your page. So I've got a couple documents here. I'm going to click open and let's upload these documents. There we are. We're uploading them now. First one's in, working on the second one. And there we go. Not quite done yet. Now, if you recall, I mentioned we always have to choose our content group. Well, here we go. Now we have to choose our content group again. I'm using admin, who has control over these documents. I'm going to go admin. There we go. Now, as a super user, you might be bringing in documents for different content groups. You can decide which one goes under what content group. If I only want one under the admin, I can select it here. If I want them both underneath that same content group, I just do select all. There we go. Now, we've had a little bit of talk about ADA compliance and things, WCAG 2.0. I want to show you this document name. Now, WCAG will tell you or ask you not to use acronyms. Now, I want you to think about it. I'm guessing everybody there that works for New Haven, you can all have kind of a conversation. You can pepper that conversation with acronyms about work, and you understand what everybody's talking about. Doesn't mean your constituents do, right? So my document name, and again, I've used this many times, so I know it's the CMS training reference guide, but if I have a text-to-speech application, it would try to read that as one word, all one word. Okay. Now, if I even had to just set out a CMS, it's not going to work. So I'm going to actually spell out content management system. Got rid of my acronym. Now they know what that stands for. I'm actually going to put a space between training and reference and guide. Now, a text-to-speech application will read this document name as Content Management System Training Reference Guide. Much better than CMS Training Reference Guide is one word all crammed together. Now, we talked a little bit about keywords early on as well. Remember, for search engine optimization, how can we help search engines find this content? And we get an opportunity to put in some keywords to help people find this document. If I put in Granicus Training Guide, I think those are good keywords. Now you can see my document name kind of spells it out down here, Granicus widget list. Can't be more specific. We'll just make it Granicus widgets as keywords. Now you can see I can do them individually, or I can bring them in together up here at the top. I've got two buttons. I've got save and publish. I want you to not even look at that button that says save. It's not even there. Don't even see it. Boom, gone. Everything we're going to do is going to be save and publish, save and publish. So go ahead and click save and publish if you're bringing in a document. And there we are. There's my Granicus training folder. Somebody else built one. Nice. And there's my two documents that I brought in. Ready to be put on content on pages. Let's go back to our dashboard. If you recall, I said we're going to bring in an image as well. And I also said same process for both. So I'm going to go a little bit quicker this time. I'm going to click add an image. Again, there's our image library now, very similar to our, well, it's exactly the same as our document manager, all our different folders. Let's add one folder at the bottom. Again, I'll do my Granicus training folder. There we go, subfolder at bottom. Granicus training. Add images all the way over here to the right. There we go. Add images. Again, I hope I'm not going too fast. Exact same process as we just did for the document. I can drag and drop an image into this field here, or I can browse is what I'm going to do. But here's the formats that are acceptable: JPEGs, GIFs, bitmaps, some of the more popular ones. So let's go browse. I actually have a folder called images on my desktop. So this is where I'm going to go. Glenn, I'm going to throw this out to you. Do you have a photographer on staff by chance?
No, we do not.
Okay, so everybody just kind of submits their own images, or you have somebody that, you know, goes, oh, I got one, I'll take it.
We have a repository of like canned images that we've done in the past, and we do have a marketing company that we're paired with. So if we need any new content, we can reach out to them.
Perfect. All right, so you got to figure it out. What I wanted to make a point of is you've got to be very aware if you go on a website and you see an image and you go, wow, that would be great on our Fairhaven site. You can't just go out and grab images and use them. You have to have, there's three things you got to think about. One, do I have permission from the photographer to use the image? And two, does the photographer want to be credited with taking that image? And here's the big one. Three, does the photographer want to be compensated if I use that image? So be very careful on images that you use. It sounds like you've got that process taken care of, so no worries there. Now, here in my image folder, I've got things like business people, fire safety, dog park, Main Street, and sports. I pulled these off a site called Free Clip Art. Okay, everybody can use them. No compensation or crediting needed. Just available for everybody. Now, I did take a couple other ones. So let's bring in, how about this one at the top? Let's go dog park, and this will be Minnesota in about a week. Actually, it's almost like that now. It's all snow outside right now. So I'm going to upload all three of these images. So I've selected all three. I'm going to click open. Again, same process as our documents here. I choose my content group. I'm going to go admin. They're all going to go underneath the admin content group. I select it all. Now, here we go. Name, image name. Again, you have to, I would say, think about a sight impaired person who has a text to speech application. If they scroll over this image on your site, it would read the image name as 6DDDAE997 and so on. Doesn't tell you anything about that image, right? We gotta make sure we have a good image name here. So I'm gonna highlight this. We're gonna call it Street Sweeper. Now we have alternative tags. How else can we let people know what this image is? What else is it referencing? How do we make sure they know that this is the content? Again, I don't know what. Oh,
I would describe it.
You would type in a description. Again, I'm trying to think. I don't know what else I would describe. How would you describe it other than street sweeper?
Well, I mean, if you're thinking about someone who has no vision, then you want to
Yeah.
say that this is a street sweeper, on a sunny day, and it could be working on the dirt in a dog park or something, because then it gives
Absolutely.
you that idea about what's happening. So alternative tags are really meant to be alternative descriptions.
Right. Alternative definition or understanding of the image itself.
Yep.
So, yep. And you're very descriptive, Gretchen. That was very nice. Better than what I would do. So again, you could put street sweeper on a, I think you said sunny day. And I apologize, I forget everything else. We'll just kind of go there. Dog park. Again, you can see it filled in a tag for me, but it's going to call it dog park signage. And then I even have one down at the bottom, outdoor rink. It could be outdoor rink. It could be skating rink. It could be children on ice skates. Again, Gretchen, you did a good job. How would you describe this bottom one, Gretchen?
Are they skating? This is
Yeah,
really small on my screen.
playing hockey,
An
yeah.
outdoor skating rink with multiple people on a very snowy scene,
Yeah,
cloudy day kind
perfect.
of thing.
Yeah, very descriptive. Nice job. So again, that's what your alternative tag is. How else can we describe it? Paint a picture, so to speak. Let's paint a picture. Again, we've got what we want. We're going to set, there's no save button. Remember I said, don't look at that save button. We're going to go save and publish. There we go, save and publish. And we've uploaded our images to my Granicus training folder. All right, let's go back to the dashboard. We now have to put these on our page. We're going to add them to our content. So I'm going to find my page here. I'm going to go up here to site content. I can go pages. Now, if you recall, I can find it here under the tree view, right? I know exactly where I put it. There it is right there. I can get to it if I need to. But I'm going to go back to the list view. If you recall, I said it's always listed by when it was last edited. Well, I know I'm working on it right now, so it should be near the top. And you can see we've got a few people also working on them. There's my page right here. If I scroll over these locks, you can see who they're locked by. Now, two ways to get there. One is all the way over here to this little gray circle. I drop it down. The third one down here, this little golf pencil, right? Our edit function, edit design. That'll edit the design of the page. That's the easiest and the way I would tell you to do it. Now, I want to show you a separate way, because this is what I get the most calls and emails about sometimes after training. So if I go here and I just click on my page name, it takes me to what's called the review page. And you can see this should look familiar. This is everything that we've already filled out. Again, you can change things if you would like. We can hit the edit function and change anything we would like, but I can go up here to continue. When I mention calls and emails, this is it right here. People will go this route to get back to their page to work on it. If you notice, I've got no main menu bar. I've got no staff navigation menu bar. I've got no page title, no content area. Like, I can't update it. I don't know what's going on. It's because we're in what we call review mode. We can only review it. Okay. We have to go across to the middle to where it says edit. And now when I scroll down, here's my main menu bar is back. I've now put this page back in edit functionality. Side navigation, page title, there's my content area. All the way across this little white wrench again. Let's scroll down. Let's add that document now. To do that, it's this icon up here at the top. Little square with a capital letter A in it and a paper clip. I always say, think about Microsoft Outlook. If you've ever had an email that you want to attach something to, you got to find the paper clip, right, to insert it. So this is our document manager. I'm going to click on it. There it is. There's all our folders. My folder, I know, is down at the bottom. There it is, Granicus Training. There are my 2 documents that I brought in. Let's grab this one right here. Now, if you get here to this point, and you go, these aren't the documents I want. Maybe I need a different one. I can go to upload new documents. It will take me back to the drag and drop box location, and I can start that process again. So I'm going to go content management system. There it is. It is going to open up in a new window. And I like that for documents. Reason being, leaves your site up, right? Leaves the New Haven, Connecticut site up, but it opens up that document in a new site. So that person can then share it. They can save it. They can print it, whatever they want to do with it. It's in a new window for them. Let's go insert. And there's our document on our page. All right. We've also brought in an image, so let's put an image on our page as well. And to do that, just to the left of my document central is my image library. It looks like mountains with the sun over top of it. Right there. So let's click on that. That'll open up our image library, image manager. There you go. Image library. I scroll down, I find the folder where I know my images are housed in my Granicus Training. There we are. There are the 3 images that I brought in. Again, you can upload any additional images right now if you need to. Let's go outdoor rink. So I've selected it. We're in preview mode. I can insert this on my page right now at the size that it's brought in as, but you can see up here, I've got some options here. I can make it best fit for my content area. I can do actual size. I can zoom in. I can zoom out, whatever I would like to do. But I like to size my image first before I put it on my page, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So to do that, instead of just inserting it on our page, again, we can always adjust the size no matter which way we do it. I go over here to, from preview over to the right to properties. Okay. It's got our image name at the top. Got our alternative text listed here. Again, we can fill that out. Again, Gretchen had a nice little saying, you know, kids skating in a snowy ice rink, you know, be descriptive. But width and height, this is the current size of our image. And again, here's a new acronym for you, PX. And if you're not familiar with that, it means pixels. And if you're looking at my camera, if you can see me, I always, when I would do this training face to face, I would say, how big is a pixel? Somebody would take their finger and thumb and go like this. Oh, pixels are really small. They're about this big, right? Pixels are tiny. So 309 pixels, 163 pixels. I have no idea how that's going to look on my page. Now, I do know percentages, okay? So the width of my content area, do I want it to be 25% or 50%? 75, 100, the whole width of the content area. So all I'm going to do is here is I'm going to take my 309, I'm going to highlight it. Just turn it, highlight it blue. I'm going to type in 50. Now, if you're taking notes or if you're thinking, I got to remember things, this is one thing I would like you to remember or write down. You have to put in the percent sign. Okay, put in the percent sign. If you don't, then it's just going to be 50 pixels wide. Very tiny. Now you can see it also adjusted the height as well and to keep it formatted as a percentage as well. I believe if you Google it, it'll say 100 pixels to an inch. So if at 309 pixels, it would be about 3 inches. Right now, if I didn't put the percentage sign at 50 pixels, it would be a half an inch wide and a quarter inch high. You couldn't even tell what the image is. Got a few other boxes here. We're going to come back to these and talk about these. I want to see what it looks like on my site in my content area at 50% and 27% height. So I'm going to go down here to where it says insert. There it is. Now I did 50%. That meant one image here means I got room for another image here. Just because this is the size I started with doesn't mean it's the size it has to remain. I can make it bigger. I can make it smaller, whatever works. And I'll show you how to do that real quick. So to adjust the image as well, I've got my cursor right over top of the image, right over top. And I'm going to left click, right? Index finger click right here. And when I do that, it highlights the image itself. Got some boxes here. I call them drag boxes. If I grab this one down here at the bottom and I just pull it straight down, it adjusts the size of my image and keeps it formatted correctly. So if I want it bigger, I can do that. If I want it smaller, I can do that as well. Let's go a little bit bigger right there. Now, I know Gretchen talked a little bit about this earlier, and she did a great answer was descriptive information of the image, tell a story. Again, two things to think about with your image here. If your image is adding context or meaning to the page, we have to add in additional alternative text, right? What's the description? What's the imagery? What is it trying to say? If your image is purely decorative, right? It's just maybe a placeholder, then no alternative text is needed if it's just an image of the mountains or the sun or something like that. But if it's going to stay in your page and it's adding context or meaning, we have to add in alternative text. And I've got that right over here. I don't know if you can see my cursor is blinking. So I'm going to start typing in. How about scanning rink? It's open.
Bill, are you saying that with the mountains that you wouldn't give it a title so that people know what it is when their cursor rolls over it?
Well, the name of the image would be mountains, or it could be Rocky Mountains or something like that. And then you've already got your alternative text, so when they scroll, it would be there. But this is an additional alternative text that needs to be added. Does that make sense, Gretchen?
I'm saying, if you just, if it's a picture of the Rocky Mountains and in your title, you can just say, picture of Rocky Mountain range.
Picture of the range.
You can just do that. But,
yes,
like this one tells more of a story that you want people to be able to, if you closed your eyes and you described it, will you see this?
Yes.
Well, same with graphics. If you put graphics in, there should be alternative text for graphics.
Yes, as well. Again, I'm not great at writing content like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this, paste it a couple times. There we go. But doesn't look great. It's not how we want our image and the text to look on our page. We're going to go back. Remember, I said we're going to talk about those boxes again, and that's how we're going to adjust this and make it a little more. We're going to pretty it up. How's that? So instead of left clicking and adjusting the size, this time here in the middle of my image, you can see my cursor's right there. I'm going to right click. When I do, it gives me the opportunity to go back to the properties box. Now we're back to pixel size. So we went from 309 up to 543 and adjusted the height as well. Image alignment. Large X always means alignment. Where is it going to go in the area, in the content area? If I drop this down, you can see it gives me a few options. Currently, I have my image to the left with my text to the right. that would be this box right here. Those little lines indicate the image itself. You can see I can put the image in the middle up top with text below. I can put the image below with text above or right in the middle, or I can flip flop it. I can move the image over here to the right and the text to the left with this box here. I'm going to keep it the way it is. My text, my image here to the left, my text to the right. There we go. We'll talk about border color and border width in just a second. These 4 boxes kind of go hand in hand with my image alignment, right? I'm moving my text to the right. I want to keep it to the right. You can see I've got a box that says right. I'm moving up top. I can select that one, bottom and left. Okay. So if I click in this box that says right, I'm going to type in 15, and that means pixels. I'm going to move my text 15 pixels to the right of the image. Okay. Now, border color and border width, I'll leave this up to you as a team, it's yourselves. If you recall, I mentioned earlier, uniformity is a big keyword that people look for in a website. So when it comes to images and borders, you have to think of uniformity as well. I'm of the school of no border. I don't know if images need borders, but if you do put borders on images, it should be all or nothing. It should be all images have a border or none of the images have a border. So I'll leave that completely up to you, but I'm going to show you how to put a border on an image. First thing you do is you choose your color. We've got a palette here for you. Again, you got several different, if you know a custom color, you can add that in as well. I'm just going to go bright red because it's easy to see. And then how wide is that border around my image? Again, I'm going to click in there and it wants to know how many pixels wide. I'm going to do 2 pixels wide. All right. So I've got my information. I'm going to click OK. And there we go. Got my image, got my 2 pixel wide red border. That's 15 pixels between the image and the text itself. There's my alternative text over here to the right. If I'm not sure if I really like it, I wanted it maybe a little bit smaller. Let's go here. There we go. I like that a little better. Looks much better. So I've now got my image, I've got my information, and I'm good to go. All right. One more thing I want to show you about this page here. I'm going to click save one more time. Let's take a look at it. I scroll down. Here's my content. There's my page title. There's my content area. This is everything I've just built in. Again, just basic understanding of where things are at, how to add things to your content area. Now, we've talked about widgets a few times. And I do apologize for those of you who are on the call who are basic users, because this is a super user function. If you remember all the way back to when we talked about page templates, and we had, I chose basic page, right? And there were some templates already assigned to the basic page. We saw one called accordion, and I showed you an accordion widget. We had some pre-built page templates. Remember those 21 that had 5 or 6 widgets already on them that you could use. Well, let's say you start building a page and you get to the point and you're like, you know what, it could really use an accordion widget or an image rotate widget or any type of widget on here, FAQ widget. To do that, we go all the way over here to the left. And again, I apologize, this is a super user function only. So if you are a basic user, you'll need a super user to add this widget to your page. We're going to go here. And again, we use this icon a few times. We just used it previously for our bullet list, right? If I highlight it, it's called the widget library. There it is, widget library. I click on it. There are the 75 or so widgets that we offer that you can build content on pages with. Okay. And again, I'll send you that document that lists every one of these widgets. It gives you a definition and a screenshot of what it looks like. I mentioned accordion widget a few times. Again, it's one of my favorites. I'm going to drop one of those in here on my page and fill in some content. So I'm going to go here and grab it. I'm holding my index finger down. I'm pulling across. Here we go. You can see it. It's going to give me a box to drop it in. Perfect. I now have an accordion widget on my template. It's going to ask me, do I want to rename my page? Absolutely. I need to do that. Successfully added widget. Changing the widgets on this page automatically creates a new page template. It's been saved to your account. If you recall, remember there was 28 account templates. We've now got 29. But instead of it being called the basic page and a copy, because we're not copying the basic page, we've actually changed the basic page. I'm going to highlight copy here. I'm going to call it with accordion. Okay, I've renamed this page template. Now, this template will be available for people to use. I'm going to hit save. I can still publish my page right now. And this is exactly what it would look like. You would never see the accordion widget. There's no content in it. It's just in the background hanging out there. But I'm going to put in 3 sections in my accordion widget. And to do that, just like we did our content area, right? We're looking for that white wrench. We look for the white wrench on the accordion widget. So I'm going to go across here to the white wrench. It wants me to give this widget a title. I'm just going to call it test. It says, do you want to put an icon or another name for image? I don't know why they changed it, but you want to put an icon. This allows you to put an icon at the beginning of each section. Remember, I said I was doing 3 sections. Okay. Here's my maximum accordion sections. Right now, it says I can do up to 12 sections. If I want less, I could do that as well. However I want to make it. Now, here's my first section. It wants to know, am I going to put an icon? Again, you can see it's optional. What the icon is, it takes you to the image library. There we go. Let's go to about Parks and Rec. Here's Nature House. So let's call this one there's my section title, Fun at Nature House. Again, I can add a description and information. It does show default state is open. There's only 2 states, open or closed. I'm going to put it in closed state because I think that looks the best on the page. But to add a description, just like I added content, I go across to my pencil, right? The edit function. If I click on it, this should look familiar. Boom, content area. How about just typing in some stuff at Nature House. There we go. There's my content. I said I was going to do 3, so I just hit the little plus sign down here at the bottom. Let's find, let's go dog park. How about dog limit. There we go. So I've got my second section. Let's do my last one. I said I was going to do 3. Let's find an icon. What do we want to call this one? Hi, Justin. How about coffee with there we go. We're going to join Mayor Justin for coffee at Starbucks. So I've got my 3 sections, right? You can fill in your content. I did it fairly quickly. I'm going to hit save so you can see what the accordion widget looks like. And there it is. There's my icon in front of each one. There's my title. Now you can see I've got a little plus sign down here. Remember, I put these all in closed state. To open them up, I can click the plus sign or just anywhere in this field, anywhere. So if I click right here, boom, there's join Mayor Justin for coffee. Here's our dog park and our Fun at Nature House. Again, content area on steroids. I could have taken all this content area and put it under each of these sections, and that's the only space it would take up right there, those 3 sections, until you click on it and drop it down. So I've changed my page template. I've got a new template. It gives me an opportunity to add more content to my page in a smaller area. I want to give you an example of how you can add widgets and what things do to the page and how it works. All right. We are just over an hour again. This is a perfect spot to take a second quick little bio break if needed. I understand work doesn't stop because you're in training as well. So I believe it's 12:09 and you're probably all very hungry. But let's do 11 minutes. Let's be back at 20 past the hour, 20 past the hour. We're in the home stretch. We've got two things we want to continue showing you, and then we'll get you out of here. So I'm going to pause the recording. There it is. I mentioned we had a couple of things left to do. If you recall in the beginning of training, I said, I showed you on the front page, we're going to talk about calendar meeting and news story, and we're going to add each of those. We've got our page here. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard real quick, back to the dashboard. Again, I've got two quick links here, creating a calendar event and creating a news story. But before we do these, I want to go to site content. This is where I want to start. I actually want to start on the calendar page. I just click here, it goes right to starting building a calendar event. But I want to show you something on the calendar event page and also on the news story page. So I'm going to click calendar. Here we are. Now you can see, well, it says zero events match of 6. It's just showing upcoming events. I can show all events. It'll list all 6 of them. There they are. Again, you can see the event date, so they're past, and it gives you the status. Let's just do upcoming events, nothing. There we go. What I wanted to show you here was categories. Now, we can break calendar events out by different categories. You can do them by content groups. You can do them by departments. You can do them by what they are. Could be board meetings, could be budget committee, just public events, Parks and Rec, however you want to break them out. But if I click on categories, you can see we don't have any built in. I'm actually going to build in a category. So I'm going to click add category. What this is good for as well is on the widgets for the calendar event widgets, you can break them out by category. So if you only want to see council meetings, you can just see all the council meetings listed. If you want to just see Parks and Rec events, you can see those as well. But I'm just going to go here and my title is going to be just events. Now you can see here it says color, choose a color, and there's 5 of them. I'm going to let you know these colors have 0 meaning, 0. There's no meaning there unless you want to give them some meaning. Okay. And what I mean by that is you can assign a color to an event. If it's for the police group, maybe you do blue. If it's for fire, it could be orange. If it's for the health department, it could be magenta. Whatever works if you would like to do it. If it's optional, if you don't want to put a color on it, that's fine as well. But now we also get to choose what content group gets to use this category event name. You can see if I only want it for the city clerk, I'm only going to pick that city clerk category or content group. If I want everybody to have access to my category name events, I go select all, and now every content group has access to the category name event. So I'm going to click save. And what I mean by access to means they can build an event or a calendar event underneath that category. All right, so let's go back to events and go add event, add event. Just like we do for everything, we choose our content group, right? There we go. We drop it down, admin. What's the title of your event? I'm gonna call mine Big Truck Day. We do that here in Woodbury where I live, like in September, October. When is the event? How about again, you notice there's no clock here, but if I click my calendar, we actually have a time bar down here at the bottom that you can use. So let's do the event. Let's make it Saturday and start it at 9 a.m. There it is, done. When's our end time? Again, let's go Saturday and we'll end it at 5 p.m. So I go 5:59 and I just do my slide bar to 00. There we go. So from 9 to 5 is our Big Truck Day on Saturday. Is there a subtitle? Again, you can see optional features. How else do I want to describe this event? How about fun for the whole family again? Again, I can add any kind of introduction. If there's a group or association or a sponsor, type in some information here and introduce who maybe is putting on the event. Also now we've got a thumbnail image, and I always like to tell people here, There's 7 different types of calendar widgets, 7. There's only one calendar widget that uses a thumbnail, because I've had people say, well, I selected a thumbnail, but it didn't show up on my page or in that widget. It's because it's got to be the calendar tile events widget. That's where the thumbnail shows up. So I'm going to select, let's go down. This is where I use my street sweeper. There we go. That's a big truck. Next thing we want to talk about is where is it being held? Again, it's optional, but if you want to let people know, if it's a council meeting, is it at City Hall? I'm going to drop this down. Everything listed here is pulled from the facilities directory, So if you see, I scroll down, generally you'll see a lot of, there's a pavilion, there's a senior center, mostly parks, could be trails, different things that you've got here. There's a golf course. Again, where's are we getting? There's a couple test ones that we can throw in. Got a carousel, nice. How about Edgerton Park? Let's do it at Edgerton. Now, if it's not listed here, you can see you also have an option to fill in a manually enter a location as well. Okay. Now we type in our details. This should look familiar. This is just a content area. What do we want to put in here about our event? Again, I just a few things of details. Like any of our content area, if there's a document you would like to add, you can see I also have attached supporting documents down here as an option. I can add an image. So maybe you've got an image of kids at Big Truck Day from last year. You can drop that in. Here's a new icon here. It's the video. Again, it's a round circle, and I call that the play button, right? Because I had an old VCR at one point. But if I click on that, it says I have to paste a YouTube or Vimeo video URL. So if you've got video, you put it in either YouTube or Vimeo, you get that URL, right? It says share URL. You can copy it and drop it in here. We can put it on our content area, and then people can play that video going forward. So it gives you another little option there, but those are your details, what's going on about the event itself. Again, attach supporting documents. It might be, if it's a city council meeting, you might want to attach the agenda. For my Big Truck Day, I might have a waiver that parents have to fill out that says if a kid falls off a fire truck, you can't sue the city. But any supporting documents you would like to attach here, you can do that here. Tags, we talked a little bit about that, how to put content across this component together. How does it, what works together, what's together. Here's my categories. So if I'm going to click categories, you can see there's my events category that I built in. Boom, we're going to select that one. Is there a department who's put this on that it falls under, or is it just a closed event for a members group? So only I want the people that are in this members group to see that this event's going on. I can do that as well. Now there's only 2 sections here, not 4 like when you build a page, but this should look familiar. There's a publish date and expiration date. Again, I can publish this right now. I don't have to worry about putting it out there, on any given date, but maybe I want to publish it in the future. I can do that as well. I'm just going to pick today's date. There it is. I will tell you, I'm not a fan of expiration dates for calendar events. People always look back in the archives and go, hey, when was that last year? Or I know we just did that a month or 2 ago. What day was it on? If you do an expiration date, it will come off the calendar and then they can't find it. So I'm going to leave it up to you and your team to decide what you would like to do. But I would say no expiration date, just kind of like your pages, right? It's not something we want to bring down. We want people to find it. So let's put that no expiration date. That being said, because this is a training function that I'm doing, I'm going to have it expire on Sunday. Here we go. Here's a new question for you. Do you want to display it on home? You can see it right there, display on home. Now, if you recall, I showed you the calendar events widget on the front page of your site. Do I want it to display there? If I don't, it's just going to show up under my calendar widgets, and then I have to search for them, right? Depending on what widget I've got, I can find it there and then look at it. But I want it to display at home, so I'm going to check that box. Just like our pages, we can do a scheduled content review as well. We can redirect them. I remember I put in here, thanks to our sponsors. Maybe a local bank is sponsoring this event and they're advertising it. We can send them right out to that bank's website page and have them look at that. Again, we can also forward it to Facebook and Twitter if it's something that we want to advertise out there as well. So I've got two options. I can preview it or I can publish. Okay, preview and publish. I know what I've got, so I'm just going to hit publish. Here we go. It's going to take me back to my calendar events page. Now, what I want to show you here is I've created an event. Again, maybe this is the city council meeting or a budget committee meeting or something like that. If it's a recurring event, you have to build the event at least once, at least one time. Now I can go over here. Big Truck Day is a recurring event. See my little gray circle all the way over here to the right. If I drop it down, now I can make it a recurring event. Okay, so council meetings, you have to build at least one, and then you can make it recurring from there on, or budget meetings or anything going on. Build it once and then make it a recurring event. Let's go out and take a look at this. Let's go site preview. We'll scroll down. There's news. There's my calendar. There's my Big Truck Day. Title, subtitle, when is it? The 11th, 9 to 5. Open it up. I can add it to my personal calendar if I would like. There's the location. It's got the address. Again, date and time. There's my content. I go back to the full list, return the full list over here. That's the only thing on the only event. All the other events are listed here. Remember, I mentioned categories, how you can break them out. So if I only want to see events or budget meetings or whatever categories you build in, they can be filtered out that way as well. All right. One more thing. Hang in there, everybody. Let's do that news story. Now, again, I want to go to my news story page instead of just starting my news story first. So I'm going to go news. Take me to my news story page. I want to show categories again. So again, you can see we've got four expired stories. Oh, no. Any current stories? Nothing. Okay, well, we can find them. Let's go categories. Let's see if we have any categories built in. We don't. I'm going to build in one. Add category. I'm going to call it press release. There we go. There's my category for a news story. Again, I can choose what content group can do it. I'm going to let all of them use it. There we go. Save. Go back to stories. Go add story. Add story. Same process. One additional question this time. One more question that you didn't see on the last for the calendar events. So again, choose our content group. What's the title? Mayor visits school. Mayor welcomes back students. I can do an introduction. Again, thumbnail depending on what widget you use. But let's find that mayor. Mayor's office. There it is. Justin, right? Yep, Justin. I can fill in my content. Copy and paste the news story. I can link it, right? Hyperlink manager. I can link it to a local newspaper. I can link it to a local TV station if they've done a story on it. However I want to do it, fill in your content about your news story for your mayor visiting schools. Again, maybe there's video of the mayor talking to the students. You can drop that in here with a Vimeo or YouTube URL. Any other images you'd like to drop in, you can do that as well. There's our tags, just like we did before. How do we link this content to other content within the site? What category? Here we are, press release. Is there a department? Is there a members group? No, it's not closed. This is for everybody. Again, next section. Same steps. Here's where that new question comes in. First is the posting date. When do we want it to post? Again, I can publish it right now. I don't even have to put in a posting date, but I will. Let's go this. We'll post it at midnight. And again, I'm not a fan of expiration dates. I think your news story should stay out there. People will look at them. Could be 6 months down the road and somebody will say, hey, Susie was in with the mayor on the city website on a story. Let me show you. We don't want it to come down. We want to leave it up. So, but that being said, expiration date is Saturday for my story because it's irrelevant. There's our display at home again. Do we want it to be on the home page, or we just want it to come up within a widget on a different page within the site? I want it to display on home. Here's that new question, pinning to the top. Okay, we can pin this article to be on the top of the list. If you're not familiar with that, I've seen in the last year and a half, COVID-19 stories pinned to the top. East Coast, down south, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, even Louisiana, I've seen hurricane and tropical storm news stories pinned to the top of their pages because they were important at the time. West Coast has been wildfires and air quality. Okay. If they're important, you want to pin them to the top so people see them right now. At some point, though, it might not be necessary. The hurricane and tropical storms are, we're kind of coming out of season. We can unpin them. We can go in here and uncheck this box at any time. It just goes in order then of back in order of when it was posted to the site. Okay, but I am going to pin it to the top so you can see what it looks like. Again, we can schedule a review. We can redirect it out to a newspaper or article or TV station, anything you would like. If you don't want to, if you're not building content, you're just going to send them away, you can do that. And again, Facebook and Twitter. So preview or publish, I'm going to go publish. Take us to our news story page. There's indicates it was pinned to the top. So we'll push pin. If you highlight it, it'll say pin to the top. That means this story is going to stay on top of the list. If I could drop in 10 more news stories. This one will still be on the first one they see. Let's go out to site preview and take a look. We'll scroll down. Here's our mayor visit schools. You can read it. I don't know if it's connected yet. Again, I mentioned way earlier in the training that things they're still working on, different things. Let's see, read more. I'm sure that I'll make a note of that and we'll make sure it gets connected so it goes to the news story page. Sorry about that. All right. That's a lot of content, a lot of information in kind of a short amount of time. You guys had some good questions. It got quiet. I think it maybe hunger's taken over, who knows? But any questions we can answer real quick for you right now? Or is this something you want to kind of all take a look at and get an understanding about, and then we can always revisit it and ask questions later?
No takers.
No takers, okay.
All right.
No worries. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I just wanted to let them know that we've got another session coming up. I forget. I apologize. I didn't see when it's scheduled, but it's called Beyond the Basics. And what that is an open forum to ask questions and go over things again and get a better understanding of different things. So you're not missing your shot. You got a chance later on to ask questions as well. So don't worry about that.
Yes, and I also believe that we're going to be doing another training session in January before we go live.
Yes.
So it's kind of a refresher. So, and I think ahead of time, people are going to be able to hop on and start editing content. And
yes,
that's great.
Yep, that's called Beyond the Basics, which is kind of the second one after this one that we just did today. Okay. They can hop on now and work on this if they would like. They've got logins. They can work in this production site. Go ahead. We can, and again, I always suggest using your initials or something that separates it from a page that you want to publish, because we can pull it out at any point and clear it up, clean up.
Hey, where's the recording going to be saved at?
I'll leave that up to Glenn. It takes about 20 or 30 minutes for it to compile. So once I get it today, Glenn, I'll forward it on to you, and then you can post it on your intranet or send out a link or whatever you want to do. But it'll be a little while before I can send it to you.
Yeah, that's pretty much where it's going to lie, on our internet site. So if anybody wants to view it, or if anybody wants a copy of it, they can definitely view it and download it from there.
Perfect.
So just to be clear, everything that we worked on today when we signed on as a basic user is not going to show up on our current pages, right? Per department. if you kind of move stuff into that area when you were demonstrating?
Nope.
Yeah, if you've got a test page that you built, we can clean those up. Lindsay Wincheck, your project manager here, we've got some software we'll run through and clean up a lot of things. Now, if you've updated some pages that are already there, that's okay. That'll stay there. You can update your content. This is what we call the production or staging site, and then it moves into the live environment. So it's got another step before it actually goes live out to the public.
Okay. All right. Now, will the on the new site, because I know probably some departments have more content or manage content more so than I have in my department. Are we allowed to change our content now? Or is that what the purpose of this is about, Glenn? Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'll let Glenn answer that. Go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, one of the things that we're going to be doing is allowing people to change their content. Go ahead and add, new photos, new text, anything you want. But the only caveat will be you won't be able to publish it to live until we finally review it, until IT, somebody from, the applications group oversees it and just reviews what's been published or what's been added, and then we'll push it live.
All right. Now, earlier, is there going to be like, or the system's already set up by default, like just nomenclature type of policies and in terms of naming and positioning things on the site?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, when you click into like a text area, you'll see there's a box is broken out. It says, this is content area. So you'll be able to go in and edit there.
Okay. All right. The other thing I wanted to know, if this, and it may be already possible, is there a way to do like a survey to attach to our page, like what brought you to the page, and get that analytics from that?
Absolutely. I think there's two ways, because there's a polls option that's built into the CMS already.
Okay.
And then there's also another way we can do it through the Esri forms, where we can build a form and embed it right into the page. So that way we can capture any metrics from there.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to build something like that, definitely let me know, and I'll work with you on that, or we can go through it and show you how to do the polls.
Okay, thanks. I'll do that.
Okay. Any other questions before we wrap it up? Okay. Well, I definitely thank you all for taking the time to be involved today. I know this was a little bit of a fast overview, but it's going to definitely be a good segue into allowing the departments to administer their pages and add content, and keep the website fresh and new. And that's always a big thing, especially now that we can put reminders out there saying, hey, you haven't checked your page in, a month or quarterly, things like that.
Yep.
So it's definitely going to be good for everyone.
All right. I'm going to stop the recording here.